West of England Academic Health Science Network has organised a conference today in Bath which is all about patient and public involvement in the Academic Health Science Network. The Academic Health Science Network is a network of NHS providers of care working with commissioners in order to make sure that best practice is rapidly implemented and spread throughout the NHS, to make sure that we are generating good research questions with the universities, involving patients in those research questions and getting research into practice. It's also about working more closely with industry to spot the opportunities for industry working with the NHS on new products and services, and then getting to try those out and bring them into practice if they work.
Well, I think people want to find out what academic health science networks are, so that's part of the purpose of today. I think that the patients and members of the public and carers who've come along today are here because they want to improve health services for themselves and for the groups that they're working with and represent. We all recognize, commissioners, academics, clinicians, patients all recognize that we don't always implement all the best practice. We're not always good at picking up innovation, so there's still a lot of variation in practice in the NHS, and patients and the public obviously have got a real interest in making sure that everyone has access to best practice.
In your groups, now at your tables, you don't need to move, we're going to ask you to answer this question. So if the AHSN does what it's set out to do, what difference would that make for individuals, for you as an individual, for your family? What would it mean for your community that you're part of? And what would it mean for our region? And we're going to ask you to talk about that around your tables.
Which will ensure that providers do provide a much better service.
And penalties.
And penalties, so there will be incentives and penalties. This is the real world. If an organisation is commissioned to provide a service and they don't pay them.
I'm sorry, I have to disagree with that one.
You see, I've always been absolutely astonished and appalled that all the big trusts don't get together and actually hold the pharmaceutical industry. And it really makes me cross that we're not, using the NHS strength and power and numbers to actually dictate terms, which is what we should be doing.
That we can actually really push the message that even if it wouldn't be the most enormous commercial success, that these people's lives are equally valuable, and if they need very specific, research projects to break down the different physiological but also social needs and cultural needs.
I'm here really because I saw that the West of England has a particular opportunity to lead in the area of public and patient involvement and engagement. I think this is mission critical and business critical for the new networks. I think there are many challenges facing health and social care, and these new networks are really about accelerating innovation and implementation across the system.
But we've said one of our guiding principles is that we will be patient-led. And what we want you to tell us is, what would that look like? If we want this Academic Health Science Network to be genuinely patient-led, what do we need to do in our systems, structures and relationships that would make that so?
I mean, I've been in around this area for so long, and one gets so sick of people who have a panacea. There is no such thing as a panacea. It's a holistic system, and it's about working together.
We've just used lots of creative ideas. We're trying to do a new engagement and involvement strategy, and we wanted it to be right from the beginning with people involved.
So that's interesting, isn't it? So the lesson from that is don't make it like a committee.
Yeah,
Make it informal.
But I think, I do think the issue of resourcing and how you allow people from the communities, groups and things to at least get their voice in, either through someone who's representing them on that board or through other kind of forums, and that's where I think the resourcing issue has to be addressed, because otherwise it won't happen. We'll get tokenism as we've had in the past.
I came along because I work for the Care Forum, which supports health, social care and wellbeing, voluntary sector organisations and community groups. And I wanted to ensure that voluntary sector providers had a voice right from the outset. Yes, it has been a useful day because it's put the local regional network in a national context and even an international one.
I came along today because I'm a member of the public who's used mental health services, and I think the day has been really interesting and we've had some good discussions on our table. I suppose one of my impressions of the day is that some of the aspirations feels quite a big aspiration in the light of what I and other people know about the realities of where services are, and there's a lot of change in the NHS and in the way services are organised.
I hope people will take away an understanding of what an academic health science network is and the opportunities that are presented by being involved with this West of England academic health science network. And also what we are hoping to take away is everybody's ideas and contributions and thoughts. We want its priorities to be set by patients, service users, carers and the public.